And you know what, man? Just thinking about this, I don't have the words. I don't have the words. I said I wasn't gonna do this, man. I said I wasn't gonna do this. Bear with me here. But
oh man,
you just don't know. You don't know what I've gone through, the fight, the turmoil, trying to fight against gender theory, queer theory, and critical race theory. All of the smear tactics and campaigns, the negative emails.
welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I have a special treat for you today. I have Pastor John K Amanchukwu, and Amanchukwu means I know God. This is a very special video. He has a word for the school board with all of these pornographic books. And does he have a special appointment from President Trump himself? Before we get into this video, don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications so that you never miss the video that I post. Now, let's get into it. So you all know that there is a battle for our children's souls and really all of our souls. But the devil has really been working overtime in the public school system. And we've got some voices like John K Amanchukwu, who has a word. He's standing up tall for what is right. Watch. So let's just get a little bit about his announcement. He's talking about it right here.
Hey, everybody. We did it. Man, this is unimaginable. You are looking at the newly appointed book czar of the United States of America. And you know what, man? Just thinking about this, I don't have the words. I don't have the words. I said I wasn't gonna do this, man. I said I wasn't gonna do this. Bear with me here. But
oh man,
you just don't know. You don't know what I've gone through, the fight, the turmoil, trying to fight against gender theory, queer theory, and critical race theory. All of the smear tactics and campaigns, the negative emails, being labeled as a white supremacist after I delivered a message in California, Temecula, California, to be exact, where I talked about 10 things that Black students don't need in education. I told them we don't need the soft bigotry of low expectations. I said that we don't need critical race theory. I told them that we don't need white liberals telling us that they know what's best for us, that we know what's best for ourselves. They called me a white supremacist after that. And to receive that phone call today from our president, that I'll be the next person to stand up and fight for our nation and serve as the book czar, contending for our children, man, that it touches me. And you know, we live in a world where left is right, right is left, up is down, and down is up. You saw what happened yesterday. You know, men can be women, women can be men. We had a transgender day of visibility yesterday, where we're celebrating the idea and the concept of gender and not sex, where men can now become women and women can become men and men can compete in women's sports. I mean, it's amazing. I have a right, according to diversity, equity, and inclusion, I have a right to make up a fairy tale and tell you and post about it and say that President Trump called me and offered me an opportunity to be the book czar. I have a right to tell you that he's giving me 2 offices in the White House. I have a right to tell you that he's giving me a security detail and a personal vehicle. It's not true, but I have a right to say that because that's where we are as a country. So I want to tell all of you, April know some of you right now are probably cursing me out, but you can't curse out the preacher. You know, the preacher has a right to have humor as well and to lie once a year on April Fool's Day, okay? And to have a big joke. Now, many of you haven't seen this more jovial and humorous side of me because typically you see me on social media at a school board meeting fighting for our children, truly fighting against gender theory and queer theory and critical race theory. I've done this in 18 states now. We've been able to flip a few school boards. We've been able to remove dozens of pornographic books from bookshelves all around this country. And you know, the fight continues. This is the truth. This is not the April Fool's part, but this is the truth. My national campaign will kick off tomorrow. I'm traveling to an undisclosed state. I can't share with you right now where I'm going because they will attempt to block me. But I'm asking for you to pray for me. Pray that eyes will be opened. We're seeing a growing trend in our country where people are fighting against the executive orders of our president. They're fighting against what God has ordained. And I do believe that God ordained a male and female construct according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, where he created us male and female. I do believe that we need to keep men out of women's sports. I do believe that we need to keep men out of women's restrooms and locker rooms. I believe these things. And so tomorrow, the battle continues. Some people ask me, you know, Pastor John, are you going to keep your movement going now that President Trump is in the White House? Listen, my campaign started 3 years ago. It started prior to the election, and it will continue post-election. Yes, yes, yes. Tone from the top matters, and President Trump being in the Oval Office matters, but we need boots on the ground, and I commit to do everything that I possibly can to bring sanity and common sense back to our nation, one school board meeting at a time. God bless you, and God bless America.
Now he had me. I was thinking that now he did an April Fool's joke yesterday talking about he's the newly appointed Trump book czar to get the evil books out of schools, and said President Trump offered him 2 offices, on security detail, a vehicle, and all this stuff. And he was just telling an April Fool's joke. That wasn't the truth, Pastor. But in any event, this man has had boots on the ground to get that evil material out of our children's schools and stop confusing them. Now, this is a noble work, whether he's appointed by the president or not. He might be in the future. Who knows? But that part was a jokey joke. But in any event, I want to show you some clips of him in action. This is John K Amanchukwu, Sr., doing what he does best.
I got a gavel too. Here is the gavel. That's my gavel. The gavel is the truth. You're either a punk or a pervert. A punk or a pervert if you don't remove this book. That's what you are. All 6 men on this board, you're a punk or a pervert if you don't remove it. That's the truth. If you leave it in here, you're a punk or a pervert. Remove the trash. Take it out tonight. These students deserve better. You're either a punk or a pervert if you leave it in here. Every last one of you men.
Oh, he said you're either a punk or a pervert if you allow this trash in the schools. He's fighting for the children. It's a noble work. It is a noble work. Now, Pastor John K Amanchukwu, he said his name actually means I know God, and that's beautiful. Oh, I just like the way his name sounds, Amanchukwu. Anyway, it would be great if President Trump were to really appoint him as a book czar. It would be really nice. It would be really nice. It would be amazing. You know, but he punked me out because I really believed it. I was like, "Ooh, he got a book czar." I thought in the back of my mind that book czar sounds funny, like it doesn't sound like an actual thing. But in any way, you can have a czar over anything. Maybe he'll call it something else other than a book czar. But in any event, I wanted you guys to see this. I wanted you to get a taste of Pastor John K Amanchukwu Sr. Yes, he is of the Upper Room Church of God in Christ in North Carolina. We have a battle on our hands. This is a battle between good and evil. They're calling right, left, and left, right. The evil world is calling evil good and good evil. The Bible literally says, woe unto you who call good evil and evil good. Woe unto you. That is horrible, but that's where we are, especially when you're talking about a particular party, the demon rats. I call them demon rats because everything that they do and produce and are about, they just complain about what Donald Trump is doing. They never actually come up with a policy or platform to correct any so-called mistakes that Trump is doing. They just demonize him. And I did another video on what happened or looked like something went down in Wisconsin. They ran out of ballots and they were running low. And in 7 places, they ran out of ballots. How could you just not have ballots? Or they had no ballots from what I'm understanding. So watch that video. It's coming up now at the end of this one. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications so that you never, ever miss a video that I post. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.